But I know we in Black History Month, and we've talked several times about different attempts for Black people to receive reparations in this country, whether the programs that have been in place were flawed or not. It's been many attempts over the last few years, and a lot of I've received personal pushback. I've had members of our community tell me Black people don't need reparation and don't need to come in the form of a dollar amount, yada yada. Everybody has a different perspective on it, but I just want to bring up something that I'm pretty sure the majority of our listeners are not aware of at all. But Germany plans on giving $1.4 billion to Holocaust survivors globally in 2024. I know I've had conversations with people, just whether it's Facebook, whether it's in person or not. And a lot of people like to argue with me about the difference between the Holocaust and slavery. And this is one of the huge the huge differences. It's not the first time Germany has given reparation. They've repaired the German people. They don't teach about the Holocaust in school over there and all this different type of stuff. We constantly learn about our oppression in America almost yearly, almost daily. You know what I mean? And this is just one of the examples of something that took place years ago, and these people are still being repaired from. So let me give you a little bit of this article from the Associated Press. The organization that handles claims on behalf of Jews who suffer under the Nazis said Thursday that Germany will agree to extend another $1.4 billion overall for Holocaust survivors around the globe. The compensation was negotiated with Germany's finance minister, including $888 million to provide home care and support services for frail and vulnerable Holocaust survivors. Additionally, increases of $175 million to symbolic payments of the Hardship Fund Supplemented Program have been achieved, impacting more than 128,000 Holocaust survivors globally, according to the New York-based Conference of Jewish Material Claims Against Germany, also referred to as the Claims Conference. Every year, these negotiations become more and more critical as the last generation of Holocaust survivors age and their needs increase, said Greg Snyder, in the Claims Conference executive vice president. Being able to ensure that direct payments to these survivors, in addition to the expansion of social welfare services, is essential in making sure every Holocaust survivor is taken care of as long as it is required, addressing each individual need, Snyder added. The Hardship Fund supplemental payment was originally established to be a one-time payment negotiated during COVID-19 lockdown, and eventually resulted in 3 supplemental payments for eligible Holocaust survivors. This year, Germany again agreed to extend the hardship payments, which was set to end December 2023 through 2027. The amount of each individual years was set at approximately $1,300 per person in 2024, $1,400 for 2025, another $1,480 for 2026, and $1,534 for 2027. The survivors received these payments largely are Russian Jews who weren't in camps or ghettos and are eligible for pension programs, the Claim Conference said. I'm going to keep going, y'all, because I just want y'all to get all of this. As children that fled the so-called, I don't know how to say this word, it's Einstein-Gruppen, Nazi mobile killing units charged with murdering entire Jewish communities, more than 1 million Jews were killed by these units, which operate largely by shooting hundreds of thousands of Jews at the time, burying them in mass pits. For those who were able to flee and survive, there are some of the poorest in the survivor community. The loss of time, family, property, and life cannot be made whole, the group said. By expanding payments to these survivors, the German government is acknowledging that this suffering is still being felt deeply, both emotionally and financially. The group said in a statement, while symbolic, these payments provide financial relief for many aging Jewish Holocaust survivors living around the world. With the end of World War II, now nearly 8 decades ago, all living Holocaust survivors are elderly, and many suffer from numerous medical issues because they are deprived of proper nutrition while they were young. I'm going to stop there. You know what? Actually, I'm not. I'm going to continue to read.
Proper nutrition while they were young.
While they were young. Hold on. Let me start. I'm going to keep going, Kendall. As the number of survivors dwindles, the claim conference also negotiated continuing funding for Holocaust education, which has been extended for 2 more years, increased each year by $3.3 million. The newly negotiated fund amounts are approximately $41.6 million for 2026 and $45 million for 2027. So these people, some of these people who weren't even in the Holocaust, some of these people who were children at the time, they're still being repaired, and we are still fighting for reparations because America continues to fail to recognize this atrocity against Black people. And as my brother Kendall likes to say, I wonder if race is involved.
And we all know it is.
And we all know it is. So for everybody who likes to argue for the fact that or who likes to we can just, if we just work hard, if we just do this, if we just invest, if we just do that, yeah, that's fine, and it's all done, and it's apropos, and it's your American right. Yes, you should do all those things to better yourself financially, to better your family, to improve everything. But you see, people who suffer other atrocities are still getting repaired by their governments, and this is what gives them such a large head start. Excuse me, and which helps them with the wealth gap, which widens the wealth gap. So because I'm guarantee you, the majority of these people.
This is how the quote Jews became a problem because of the reparation that they received, so that they could build up and build.
I wasn't gonna go there, Kendall. But
that's why I said quotes. The evil Jews.
But yeah,
that's the point. But I also just real quick want to say, since 1952, Germany has donated, or not donated, but given over $90 billion to the Jews that have been affected by the Holocaust. So $90 billion. I mean,
that's just $90 billion is crazy.
That's just another 1.4 that they topping on, but they've been giving them money.
Right, and to Kendall's point, Germany. Well, I'm just going to add on to Kendall's point.
Sure,
Germany is nowhere near as wealthy as America.
Facts.
Nowhere near as wealthy as America. So there is money to be made, and if they wanted to, but you see,
they lost a lot of money after the World War because of what Adolf Hitler did, crippling the damn government, infrastructure, or the economy, I should say, not the government.
And Kendall was being a little tongue in cheek about the evil Jews. He was using a conservative talking point. So he was being tongue in cheek. I don't want y'all to cancel us.
But that's the point.
Yeah,
that's how they became so quote rich and all this other stuff. It's because they were owed what happened because of what they endured. That's what they deserve. So just times that by 400 years.
Man,
the United States is so ghetto. It is so ghetto being here.
Everything that I just read from the Associated Press, it's kind of discouraging because it sounds exactly like what happened to us in this country. When we talk about the '60s, when we talk about the Black Panthers establishing the free breakfast program because kids weren't getting the proper nutrition to go to school. When we talk about the Jim Crow era and things we've suffered in this country at the hands of white people and white supremacy, and then you get people to say, "Oh, we don't need that." Like, what do you mean? Are y'all not looking at the
black
numbers?
President?
Y'all not looking at these numbers? Like, you know what I mean? This is why it's important to do y'all research and to know what happens in different communities and not just look at your local news and what CNN and MSNBC and all that stuff is feeding you. And that's why, not MSNBC, but CNN and Fox News. I'm sorry, CNBC. I definitely would tell y'all to watch that. But
I just want to share a quick story. I had a coworker, I'm not gonna share no names, but basically she was talking about how she just recently went on a trip to New York, and she was like, and it was just nothing like what I saw on television. It was just, I'm thinking there's illegals just everywhere in the streets, and I'm just, in my head, I'm just like, idiot. But you know what I mean? But she really, but that's because you like you just said, stop watching all this news and think everything that's going on just based off what the news is saying. I'm not saying that the news is trying to lie to you, but they're going to sensationalize.
It's propaganda, man. They've been doing that shit for years, and it has a real effect. Right. It got a real effect, though.
I'm not denying that there's no propaganda. I'm just saying, like, local news for the most part, they're just trying to sensationalize, get your ass to watch their show. You see, like, they don't get the ratings that Fox News does, or you know what I mean? Like, they might be Fox 6, but they not Fox News. You know what I'm saying? So they're just trying to get you to tune in at 6 or 10. So they might say a few things that just to get you to watch it, but that doesn't mean that that's all of New York. And it was just crazy that she was saying that. And I think that's what, when you get warped into news so much and don't really try to research anything outside of whatever it is that you're watching, you'll start to formulate all these fears that aren't necessarily the truth. And then that's how you get paranoid.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, because they think those people telling them the truth. That's the problem.
Right. Absolutely. Right. I can agree. I said I ain't knocking nothing about the propaganda. You're absolutely right about that. But sometimes it also is just trying to get them to watch it. You know what I'm saying? And get them to tune in. Otherwise, if it's just a regular news show, people ain't gonna watch it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is but to the greater point. This is why it's such a need for reparations, and I encourage everybody who's black, who's voting, who attends city council meetings, all this type of stuff. Whenever you see a bill for reparations come across that ballot, or if you know somebody's trying to put it into work, to vote for them. Like, you know what I mean? But also do a little research, because some of these bills and proposed things for reparations get a little bit wonky. California has some weird stuff going on. I think
they done totally rehauled that plan.
Yeah, I think Chicago, and it was a small town in, I want to say, Washington. One of them, we reported on them before on the show, but they got their program.
I want to say it was in Virginia or North Carolina.
Yeah, I know it was somewhere out there. Somewhere. Yeah, I know it was somewhere on the East Coast. But yeah, wherever it was, they got it. Their program seemed to have gotten it right. You know what I mean? So, like I said, but just something to be aware of. Don't just look and see reparations and then just turn them by and oh, we don't need that, because to me that means you're signing up for your own oppression, like when you just disregard those bills. You know what I mean? So that was all I want to say. But we can,
and black people have to stop thinking that they have to work so hard for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your country too, and you deserve certain things that, based off of what your ancestors have gone through as a result of fighting for the rights that you currently have. So whether or not you think it's important, you should still be in support of those types of initiatives, solely because other people that look like you are moving forward with that. And it shouldn't be a negative that you should look at it as if you should just be having to work hard to get everything. And that's fine that you want to work hard to that point, like Rome was saying earlier. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you can still receive benefits as a result of what you endured or what your family has endured for hundreds of years, and continue to endure.
Exactly. And that doesn't mean that you have a victim mindset. That just means that you're aware of the atrocities that was committed against your people. And yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with working hard and trying to pull yourself by your bootstrap. But as we pointed out with the venture capitalist firm earlier, like, the moment we tend to do that, it's something. There's some barrier that's gonna come into play. Like this woman was able to raise $28 million in this fund, and from major corporations and major brands, and not be able to get the money to who she wanted to.
Do you think the problem with that though is because they made it exclusively for black and brown women though?
What's wrong with it?
I don't think it's nothing wrong with it, but I could see where they gonna say it's discrimination. Just like how they.
But no, you're 100% right, because the guy that founded the lawsuit, he was actually one of the people who got rid of affirmative action.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. It's just like affirmative action. They gonna go after it.
Yeah, he was one of the people that got rid of affirmative action in colleges. So that'll let you know right there. Just because it's benefiting black people directly, 100%. That's why they went after this. So it's unfortunately. It's definitely unfortunate. But we can get on to some lighter topics.